Staying with us, we continue the conversation that we've been having with Betty Wanjiku, Cynthia, right? Betty Cynthia Wanjiku, a 19-year-old who was just sharing her story with us, a story of attempting suicide 6 times, a story of being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a story of planning her own funeral, and she just told us that. And at this point, she will be sharing how she got over it. She's now a mental health activist and pursuing law, right? A lot of feedback. Willie Keses Kipchumba says, we thank God for giving her life despite the fact that she attempted suicide for 6 times. Just remember, God had a purpose and you will emerge victorious in all your endeavors. MW again says, Satan wanted to destroy such a talented girl. God help us parents to know how and when early signs come in. We also have yes, this comment, I'd like you to react to it. KOT Loyal Ambassador says, please talk, just a minute. Please talk to someone if you're not okay or something is bothering you. Remember that if they're really your friend, they are there to help you and they will do whatever they can in order to make sure you are okay. This is a reminder you are not a burden and your feelings are valid. What do you think about that?
That the first step of someone feeling depressed is talk about it. As much as we will tell depressed people to reach out, it's really hard to reach out when you think that the world is a better place without you. So people around probably a person who is having the signs and symptoms, and that is something people should learn, the signs and symptoms of someone who's depressed. Parents should learn when they see their kid in bed the whole day and they're not getting out, they don't want to shower, they don't want to eat. No, there's a problem with that. Someone can stay in bed the whole day, canceling plans, not to go elsewhere, but to just stay in bed. So once you find yourself around such a person, reach out to them. It's so hard for them to reach out. That's why I didn't reach out in the 6 attempts, because I thought that no one cared about me. So it's actually very okay to reach out to someone. And if you're in that space of feeling that you're depressed, talk about it. Just step by step, tell one person or the person you trust, not necessarily call a whole clan and tell them your problem, but find this one person that you can pour out your heart to. It really feels nice. Even now, as I'm talking to you, I feel like some things I've poured out, and this is like therapy, because once I talk about it, I feel like a certain burden has been relieved of me and a blessing has been traded back to my heart. Because once you, not even necessarily, you see, you're listening to me, it's not a matter of listen to talk. Just listen to the person. Sit down and listen to a person going through something. Just get to hear his or her mind, her line of thinking, his line of thinking. And that in itself, as much as that person will still say in the end of the sentence, oh well, that person does feel okay. That person does feel that this person has actually spared 20 minutes to listen to me. Then let me stay another day. The next day, talks to the same person. This person has spent another 20 minutes. Then this person does care, and that person has now a reason to look forward to. And that person has some hope now, gets some hope in his or herself.
You'll be telling us, how now you got over this, but there's something you mentioned, before we took the fast break, where you did tell us, how you attempted the first one, second, up to the 6th, but all these attempts were not working. What was going through your mind as you, for instance, purchased the pills, as you spoke to your friend about the cetirizine that she told you about, and after all this, nothing, there are no results, what was going through your mind?
I felt frustrated because this is me wanting to get out of the world, but this is me being given another chance. I was... Right now is when I'm thinking, I wish I had seen God in that. But at that time, I saw frustration because I was like, why is it not working? I've tried 30 painkillers. That one, even according to Dr. Google, can put you in a coma. This is me waking up and going for preps in the morning. This is me getting up and going for morning preps. I thought I would find an ambulance or being rushed to hospital, but this is me in preps after 30 Buscopan. It was quite strange. As much as I felt there were those side effects, vomiting, headaches and stuff like that. But this, I wanted a bigger reaction. So I felt frustrated and each time one attempt didn't work, that was a problem on top of a problem, because I was like, now this one hasn't worked. Frustration kept accumulating. I didn't deal with anything. I didn't want to let go of anything. I didn't want to talk about it and let go. So I really did feel frustrated. This is not working. And right now, I can definitely say that was God saying, young girl, stay here.
Hang on.
We need you here. So right now I get that there's a certain purpose. Like that commenter said, everyone does have a purpose. And until your purpose is accomplished, until God now says that I have brought you in earth to do this and that, you're not going anywhere. That's for sure. Because everyone, before God created any of us, there's a certain problem he placed on the face of the earth. And when he was creating you and I, he was sending us as a solution to that problem that he has created on the face of the earth. So everyone must understand that they have an essence of existence. And despite how at times we feel like a great mess, indeed we are greatness. We have this deposit of greatness, and that's what life is, working out that deposit of greatness day by day, finding a journey of discovering why are you here on earth. The one question that people should ask, why am I here on earth? What am I sent to do? And once you start that journey of wanting to learn why you're here on earth, then it becomes like an adventure. Yeah. So I was frustrated after I saw they didn't work, and I felt like I didn't want a painful death as well. That's why I didn't take a rope or probably jump in front of a car. That was, no, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die like that one, slow, painful death. I wanted that one that I would die, pop, because I did love myself. I did love my body, so I didn't want to take a rope or anything. So I was like, these ones are not working. I had thought of a rope, by the way, but I thought pills worked because I've seen them in the movies. They do work. So here's me not working in Kenya.
You've seen them in the movies. Are you really 19?
Yes.
You are? Okay, share your journey to healing with us.
As I said, after the fifth attempt and I started cutting that statement, I really do thank that doctor who said that statement. As much as it hurt me till date, that statement that no one is going to believe you because you're mentally ill. And from the very first time I got into the hospital I was in, they knew that I'm an outspoken girl, because I used to get food and I'm saying it's not good food, I want this one. So they used to know there's something different, and I used to read in hospital. So this nurse, it was actually a nurse, knows that I'm this outspoken, and he came and told me those words. I was like, isn't he not afraid that I can go to the management and report him? And something clicked me as I was in the hospital bed. What if millions of people are going through what I'm going through? And one time in hospital, I did go around the hospital to just see different people, to see people in beds and get an awakening of the mind that people are actually going through so much. Everyone goes through something. And as I was in that hospital bed, I thought, why don't I create something that is going to provide a safe space for people, that they're going to come out clean and say that I'm going through something, right? So after I finished high school, the very first thing I did, I ate, of course, and then I took my phone, I went to my Facebook page, I wrote everything. Take it how you're going to take it. I've already told you. I started the journey of how it started. It was a very long post that I have marked it till date, because the feedback that followed was overwhelming. People came through in large numbers saying, I've gone through this, sorry about that. And I really did see people do care, and people don't know what depression is about. That's when I got my first interview. And now blogs started writing, and I started being invited for such things. And my journey included therapy, one, a lot of therapy. Therapy includes talking to someone. Two, it took a lot of medication. That's why I came to realize that depression is an actual disease, and it has medication, just like cancer has chemotherapy, HIV and AIDS has ARVs. Depression has certain types of tablets that you take and you get better. So therapy, pills, a lot of support from my family, getting to understand what bipolar is, signs and symptoms, and how to manage it. That really did help me. Once I see that they've seen me in bed for a long time, and they come and try either to keep me company or come and contribute stories, right? And I used to talk now, and that really did make me feel happy, because most of the times I used to be in bed, my mom comes and starts stories with me, and I saw that this is a way of managing what I'm having, because they want me to start talking about it. it took a lot of my journey. It took a lot of therapy, pills, support, and getting to understand that it's not permanent. Don't take mental illness as permanent. Just learn that your healing is valid. As much as your trauma is valid, your healing is also valid.
Sure.
And I didn't put so much pressure on myself to try to be happy for people, to try and look comfortable for people around me. I wanted to be me now. I wanted to work on myself and work on what I'm getting into my mind and working towards a mental wellness. There's a quote that says, if you don't work towards your mental wellness, then prepare to work towards your mental illness. Mental wellness is what the things that you take in, exercise as well, breathing in, breathing out, talking about things that you're going through, not having so much baggage in your life and you're not talking about it, you're not outpouring your heart. So it took a lot of talking, and lastly, it took a lot of God. It did. As much
How
as
did you mend your relationship with him?
oh God, the confession prayer. I'm sorry for 6 months I was silent on you. And he's a merciful God.
Yes.
He didn't punish me with thunder and lightning as expected. So he did take me back.
Yeah.
And I started a journey of now pursuing God. There's a certain time you will ask me, what are you doing? What do you do? Or if I meet someone and someone asks me, hi, you're so beautiful, what do you do? I say, I'm pursuing God. I want to pursue God. And I started by learning that in your pains, in your afflictions, your burdens become blessings, your tests become testimonies, your pain becomes purpose. And we are tight with God right now. We're good. We're in a very good relationship, and I love him. He loves me. And my journey has been basically that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, I insist, your age, 19, because
Yes.
lots of people actually don't believe you are. And you know, during the break, you asked me, what does 19 look like? I will answer you, I will. But 19, Betty, talk to us about some of the people that you've encountered now as an activist. You know, what do you tell them? What is the, you know, not the worst per se, but that experience from someone that probably really touched you, and what do you do when someone comes to you and tells you, I'm going through this?
I start from a point of telling them it's okay. It's okay you're going through that. You're not being selfish with yourself because you're going through a hard time. You're not being a burden to anyone. It's okay that you're not okay. I've had very many instances of people even who are 50. I'm 19, and this is a 45-year-old telling me about this marriage and how the wife went to Dubai with the kids.
What do you tell
I
them?
don't know anything about marriage. I don't even have contestants for marriage yet. So this is me, a 19-year-old, and this is a 45-year-old. At first, I felt intimidated. I was like, God, you have sent a 45-year-old, and trust me, most of the cases I've dealt with are people older than I am, way older, 6 years older. I think the case that I dealt with someone near my age probably will be 25, but at this time I went to a primary school and I dealt with kids. But outside social media, 25 is the least person I've talked to. And I get to this point of believe in yourself. Yeah, you have experience of what you've gone through. So I talk to them on a basis of I've been through a rough patch myself. And I know how you feel about it. And I know it's sad. I know you're feeling painful. I get them to understand that it's okay, that people actually do feel pain, and it's okay that you're going through that. Even if you told me that you have broken up with your girlfriend, I won't tell you that there is someone out there better for you. What? I will tell you that's painful. It's okay that you've lost your girlfriend, but I get to a point of relating first and showing them love, a lot of love, and telling them that, you know what, suicide does not eliminate chances of things getting worse. It eliminates chances of things getting better. So I get to that point of removing and eliminating suicide out of the mind. Let me deal with that first, and then it becomes a journey. I don't deal with a case at one day, you tell me your problem and we are done at now there. I've already told you you have purpose, God is with you, amen. you can go home, you are healed. No, it starts a journey. And I have officials, 7 of them. And each time I get a case, I don't handle them myself. I have someone who's going to follow up. And after I've talked to you, I hand your name and a file actually to an official, and I tell them, you know, this person is a new friend I've added to you. Every day, make sure you've asked them, how are you? Now, since we are starting, I started last year, we have around, if each official has one client, and there are some that I've dealt with when I was doing my media tour and I was going places. Those ones I dealt with them alone. But when I got to a point of, these guys need to be followed up, because Kitambo, I used to just talk to them. I pour out my heart fully, and I tell them what I've been through, and I give them so much love. And it did work for some people, but I realized it's more than that. I can't just deal with one case and leave you like that. I want to follow up. I want to ask you, how has your day been? That's when I decided, get officials. Betty, you have to work with people. So I got my officials and I tell them, this is a friend that I've given you. Get to know their background, get to know contact persons, that if this person calls you at 2 and tells you he or she wants to commit suicide, you'll have the number of someone around them that you'll quickly contact and say that this person is not okay, and you will put it as a burden upon yourself to even rush to that place. So I have equipped people who are older than myself as well, my officials, and I tell them every day that you're handling lives. That person that I've given you is a life you're handling. So treat that life very carefully, like it's your own life. So I tell them, I've given you a life, and I call them mental health angels. So you are that person's angel. Follow up each day, try and call and ask, hi, are you okay? Have you eaten? Are you going through something? Are you crying? And the feedback that I get from those people, they're like, hi, Betty, thank you for introducing me to probably Josie or Colleen or Daryl, those friends, my officials. They really do help me. And when I sit in my bed, I'm like, yes, God, you gave me a nice vision. So I started a foundation, and we're starting support groups very soon, where we're going to have a safe space. We just get into that place for hours. We just sit down and listen to each other, speak your heart. Just come there with all your burdens, with all your struggles. Come and outpour them. Whatever we say in that room stays in that room, right? Sure. So I just want to create a place whereby, a society whereby people are not going to be stigmatized, because I was stigmatized. Till date, I read some comments and I'm like, why be so mean to me? Why are you doing this? So I have been stigmatized according to mental health, and I've had some people's mentality regarding mental health, and I'm like, I wish you knew. I wish you were at that place whereby you don't have anything to look forward to. So I really want to create a society whereby people are going to talk about what they're going through, and they're going to learn about the power of rewriting their stories, because no story is too shallow. No story is too not real for someone not to rewrite it. And I want people to get to that point of knowing that today is probably on a Saturday. Today is Saturday, yay! Or today is Sunday. And maybe okay, sorry.
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. So probably if we're having a support group on Saturday, someone, or a Friday or a Sunday, someone will say, today is a support group day. Someone is even waking up very early to just run there. Exactly, because they know they're getting to a place where they're under a canopy of love, of care, of genuine kindness, of genuine compassion. And the society will learn. Yeah.
Okay. We need to wind up, but there's a comment here from K here, Ole. He says, mental health is real, but Kenya government gives it very little attention, if any, towards this area. Very unfortunate. What do you think about that?
I thank God for that question. Very true. That is very true. It's quite unfortunate that we only have Mathare as a place of refuge regarding mental health. Yes, there are some organizations which are doing a very good job. I know very many people, very many mental health activists who are forming private organizations that are dealing towards this. But I was asking myself, what if the government did more than that? What if Mathare is there, which is a very good hospital, by the way. People have that mentality that it's for mad people, but it's an actually really nice hospital, a very nice one. But I wanted to reach to a point where the government will say, let's take mental health to the schools. Let's go talk about mental health to primary school kids or high school, because that's where the vulnerability is, or also form places whereby people are going to run to, cheap places, because therapy is expensive. It's not no lie that therapy is very expensive. So if they got to a point of providing an affordable place and a place where people will know, just like we know Mathare is for mental illness, we'll have several places. We'll have a list. We'll be like, there is Mathare, there is B, there is C, there is D. And so that when people, even in the interior places, have depression, they'll know there's this specific place that is near, that is affordable, that they can go to. So yes, I wish and I really hope the government will implement something of the sort. So yes.
What do you think about the cost of the drugs, for instance, for bipolar? Because I asked this because I have a friend and he's bipolar too, and he sells, earrings, jewelry, all that, and he really complains about the price of the medication.
As I'll get back to the government a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, it is very costly. Just like therapy is very costly as well. Visiting a psychologist or a psychiatrist, it is really expensive. So we should get to that point where even the amount is a little bit subsidized, so that people can get to that point of even when they seek medical help, they'll have those drugs at a lower rate at least, if not free. If not free, then they'll get to that point of knowing that, yes, you talk about it, you talk to a therapist, that one be subsidized, get medicine, that one be subsidized, yeah. So it is really costly, I will say. It's dealing with mental health is an expensive thing, very expensive. So a lot needs to be done. We are doing a lot, but a lot more can be done. A lot more needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, time is completely not on our side, but I need to get your closing remarks. Just speak to someone who could be, where you are a year ago, right? And also, as you do that, share your contacts with us, how people can reach out to you and your foundation, all that.
Right. So I will tell anyone who's going through a hard time that you're not being selfish. As I said, I will keep on repeating that you're not being too much of a burden. And I will tell you that your trauma is valid. You know what you're going through right now, whatever emotions you're feeling right now, your trauma is valid. Please seek help. Talk to someone. If you're listening to me right now and suicide is in your thoughts, like you're thinking about it or you have planned about it, please talk to someone. You can contact me on Instagram at Miss Betty Cynthia. You can contact me on Facebook, Betty Cynthia. We have the MSD page on Instagram, MSD Foundation _KE, and also Facebook, MSD Foundation _KE. When you just text us, tell us that you're feeling this, we'll know how to handle it. Yes.
Great, Betty Cynthia Wanjiku. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do appreciate a lot of feedback. Martina Ketch says depression is real. 6 attempts. God loves his creatures. Timor Ruto saying watching and very encouraged. May God bless you. Dr. Ryan Samir says it's really touching. Masamutuku says we really need to talk more about mental health as well as increase mental health facilities. And there's one here, my director, please allow me, yes. Pastor Rafian, you know him?
Yes.
He says, Betty Cynthia, you're more than a conqueror. And there's a cousin of yours here, but his name, my goodness, Georges Ngugis from Moites.
Yeah.
I don't know why he calls himself that. He says, I'm proud of you, my dear cousin Betty, and we are proud of you. Keep on keeping on, keep on moving on. Thank you for sharing your story with us. We do appreciate. Thank you for all the feedback. I appreciate at 11 a.m. Ben Kitili will be here with Inside Politics, and of course later on Weekend at 1. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Grace Kuria. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Thanks, Betty. Asante.